Alright, let's do this. We only got 9 people. Should we wait for Bob? We got this. Let's go. Ah! Bernadetta! Where's the tank? Incoming dragon! Ah! I'm on fire! Run away! Oh man, this is what I'm talking about right here. You know what I'm talking about. You guys have played World of Warcraft, haven't you? EverQuest 2? Well, let me tell you about this game here. It's a wipe! And this is going to be by the people of Parady Games. And this is going to be a gameplay review of it right here. And man, I have to say that if you guys have ever played a Mopoga, or Mamopoga, as some people like to say, then this will definitely take you all the way back to those days, because you assume the role of a guild leader within a fantasy world, and now you must recruit other players, lead them to victory against other monsters and difficult odds, and make sure that the group remains happy enough to stick with you. So let's get right into it, and right away you get to get your name there. So let's go ahead and name myself. I think we're gonna go with the VG Pierce, and then my character name. You know what? I'm gonna name myself a little bit special. Okay. I don't know. I usually like to go with something a little bit more like I don't know, Kunio. Let's do that. Kunio. That sounds good. And you know, I'm gonna name myself my old guild. Okay, Endgame. That's right, guys. I used to come from a guild, and it was a hardcore raiding guild, and we did play it on PvP, but we're not gonna do that here. We're gonna do it on PvE, just so you guys. And then once I am gonna be doing that, oh, I gotta pick a class and server here. So I am gonna play a healer class. I was always a healer in these other games in the MMOs, so I'm not gonna do anything different. So we're gonna do PvE, and now, yes, do you wanna play the tutorial? No, we're not gonna do that because I'm all the tutorial need. So right here, it puts your guild name right there, Endgame. And it gets right into it, so you can view your guild members. And right now it's just myself. Had I played the tutorial, then it would start me off with a few guys, but nah, you know what, I'm going to recruit some guild members, and right off you can see all the different types of people that you're going to have. This is going to be the warrior class that you can choose from, and then these are the wizard class, and it kind of helps you with the names because, you know, the Burninator, Frazzle, Grandolph, Dumble D. These guys are going to be wizards. Stabbington, well, he's a rogue, obviously, and then Dark Assassin's Rob Hood, Willow as the druid, Tree Humper. Some of these names also take me back as well. Healinda is for the cleric, Healzar, and Mage Tar for the other mage. So these guys are going to be your AoE damage dealers, and these are going to be your bards, sing along, rock and roll, cowbell for these other guys here. So the one thing you have to do is that now when you pick your guys up, you have to really pay attention to their personality. All the base stats are going to be the same for everybody, okay? There's no real difference except for the fact that maybe they have an extra perk like Herbalist. But other than that, there's going to be no real other difference. Now, the Herbalist or the Alchemist skill will make it to where they'll use potions on themselves in the midst of battle, which is quite useful. It's not a big game changer, but it is going to be quite nice to have, especially on your tanks or even on the clerics that will use the mana potions on themselves as well. So maybe picking somebody with the Herbalist skill is going to be really nice, but I would say maybe pay attention more to the personality. And here you can see Hardcore Raider, Carlanus, and so that's the kind of guys you want, hardcore raiders, because these are the guys, and if you actually just leave your cursor over it, it'll tell you exactly what it is, clues to what makes this person happy. And this guy here loves going on raids, and so we're gonna choose this guy. He's gonna be my main tank. Okay, he's gonna definitely do that. All right, and then now we're gonna pick some more guys. I'm gonna pick maybe an off tank. Let's see here, average player, fine soloing. Let's see here, doesn't care about loot. Now, I know what you might think, doesn't care about loot. You think that, okay, if you give loot to somebody else, then maybe his morale won't go down, right? No, you're wrong. You give the loot to somebody else, they do care. It's just that when you give them loot, then it won't change their morale as much. And so it's a little bit misleading, but no problem right there. You kind of get used to it. You can figure that out after the first couple. So you do want to pick guys, I think you want to do fine soloing, and those guys here I think will be a lot better for your guild, or either that or average player. But either way, I think that we're going to use Conan here for my off tank. Let's go ahead and recruit him. Alright, so now I really want to get one wizard and one mage. So these wizards are going to be a main damage dealer, but it's just that they take time to cast their spells. So here we got fun soloing, average player, and doesn't care about loot. Now I do recommend going with somebody with the herbalist and then average player. That's fine. Alright, let's grab him. And then let's go ahead and choose a rogue. Loves loot and fine soloing. Actually, loves loot. You would think that would go against you. No, you actually want guys who loves loot, because when you give them some loot, then their morale will go up like sky high. And obviously this game is all about the loots, so let's go ahead and do that. Actually, both these guys are pretty good, so let's go ahead and take Stabbington here. And now I definitely want to go with a druid. They do AoE heals, okay, and those are really nice because sometimes they have AoE damage in the party. So also let's go with the alchemist skill. Demands attention, doesn't care about loot. Now these two are huge no-nos here, okay? One or the other is already going to be pretty tough, but having both of these, oh, that's really terrible. So let's go here. Fine soloing and loves loot. Yes, Tree Humper, you're for me. Okay, so let's bring you along. Okay, recruit. And now we are going to pick another healer, another off healer. I know I can heal them all myself, but unfortunately, you don't really have control over your own character, so you definitely want to make sure that you pick another healer, because these healers, as you can tell in this game, they kind of do whatever they want to, and that's really a rub of this game, isn't it? So let's go and take this medic here. Fine soloing, maybe, let's see here, Gwyneth doesn't care about loot. No, let's do that one. Medic, fine soloing, yes, I love that. Alright, oops. Alright, now let's recruit that person. And then we're gonna go with mages here. Yes, these are the AoE damage healers. Average players, they're okay, but I'd rather get somebody that loves loot. Yes, yes, loves loot. I'm gonna take him. It's kind of a double-edged sword, but I mean, heck, I think it's fine to get somebody that loves loot. Okay, personality. Let's see here. Demands attention and average player. Okay, let's go with, I don't know. Now at this point, it's just which name do I like more, right? Rock and roll or cowbell. Now, what I will say is that I kind of wish that they had like real life guild applications like they used to make you do whenever you applied for a hardcore raiding guild. They were like, okay, why do you want to join this guild? What can you bring to the table? And then they kind of look at your gear as well, and they're like, okay. And then after that, some guilds will actually take you out on a test run even. And I don't know, I kind of miss that, but here, I guess this is going to be the best you can go. Let's go ahead and choose cowbell. I don't know. Let's do that. And then I think I need one more damage dealer. So I did like this guy right here, Dark Assassin. So let's go ahead and choose him for another DPS. Okay, and that's going to be my whole unit right here. So we have myself, Kaneo, as player, VG Purist. It's going to be one of the clerics. It's going to be the main healer. Why not, right? And then Conan's going to be my off tank. Carlandis is going to be my main tank. And the reason why I want him to be my main tank is because he's a hardcore raider, guys. I'm telling you, buddy. And anytime a main tank is a hardcore raider, you're doing well already. Look at this, Frazzle. He's starting off with a morale of 77, but that's okay. He's doing fine. And right here, you just choose right there. You just click on it, and it'll show you. Or you can actually hover over the smiley, and then it'll tell you doing fine. But definitely you want to just click on it. A lot faster, a lot easier, and everything here is going to be the same. Alright, let's get right to it, shall we? You do start with 500 gold. You can actually buy some items, if you will, but that's just a use item. This is buying items, and this is help with the morale system. So if somebody was dropping down in morale, then you kind of guess which one they like the most, and then you give them the morale booster. Usually only goes up by 1 or 2, but hey, you know, sometimes that'll be very helpful, especially when you have a lot of gold. And then you can spend the day chatting with people. And these are for people that really demands attention and really needs to be talked to. But if you talk to that one person, then everybody else in the guild is going to suffer. So I feel like this is a really bad way to go. And then you can take the night off, and this usually helps for a lot of people. So definitely want to take the night off whenever you can, whenever you notice a lot of people are tired of raiding. What? Tired of raiding? I know, right? I mean, what? We're a hardcore raiding guild. We're never tired. We're never tired of raiding, baby. Alright, so we're going to do the Evil Orc Army. Fight through the Evil Orc Army to escape the city and unlock new adventures. Alright, so here it's going to unlock other more dangerous adventures for me. So let's go ahead and do that. And then we're going to click on all. Alright, and then that's it. Let's confirm. Okay, so here you are going to choose who's going to be the main tank and who's going to be the off tank and stuff like that. But here I only have one Axe Orc here, and this game does a little bit suffer because there could be an enemy behind the screen right here and I won't be able to see him. And so it's, you know, I wish this wouldn't cover this part right there. But it doesn't really take too much away from it, but sometimes it does. Alright, so let's go ahead and choose Conan and assign him as DPS. And then let's go ahead and keep everything the same. 3 healers, and then the rest DPS. That's fine. And let's confirm that. And it's going to choose the tanks for your guy, Axe Orc. Yeah, okay, why not? And then healers, and then one's going to be for the healer, and then we're going to pick most injured tank right here. And this will only heal the tanks, and this will pretty much leave out any of the DPS. I know you guys have been there before, like a rogue or somebody. It's like the healers just heal the main tanks a little bit too much, and then they leave you to die. Bandage you up. Oh yeah, you know, I've been raiding. I used to raid a lot. Come on, I used to do it 5-6 nights a week, baby. Only took 1 day off, and even on that day off, we still raided. We still did raids. We just did the back raid, and then to get people's alternate characters hooked up. So now you can choose what you want to do. Stick with the plan. Healers attack. Oh my god, heal whoever, and then keep the tanks up. Obviously, they all kind of speak for themselves, so no real need to kind of go through it. And here, look, they even have out of the fire, so it'll make you guys get out of the fires that you're standing on. And you guys definitely know what I'm talking about right here. So let's go. And we're going to stick to the plan. And we're going to confirm. And right here, they're going to automatically hit your tank. No need for the tank to go and get aggro right away. Normally, in any MMO or any raid, the tank would just take maybe a minute or two, hit the orcs a little bit, and then get enough aggro to where the DPS can start attacking. But nothing doing here, no need for that. The enemy knows who the tank is, and they pretty much go straight for him. Then a nice thing as well is that, see, I have an off tank, and they have just about the same amount of hit points. And as you can see here, everybody with 20 HP and all that stuff. I'm going to continue sticking with the plan. And everybody with these lower type of HP. Well, the nice thing is that since I do have an off tank here who's just DPS, well, if my main tank dies, it will make it to where Conan is going to be automatically the next tank up to start tanking. And that's really because he's going to draw more aggro than the other guys, simply because he's going to be the warrior, I believe. And it's not to say that the other rogues and things like that won't attack and then they won't pull aggro, but as long as there's pretty much a warrior up, you know, no need to worry about that stuff. And we can continue sticking with the plan. We should be okay here with the druid and 2 main healers on the tank. And there, Carlanus, as you can see there, used a potion to help heal himself. No problem. This first raid boss, quote-unquote raid boss, is going to go down more like a trash mob. We're going to take him down fairly easy. I do like going with 2 rogues, 1 wizard, and a mage, because the mage, if you take 2 wizards and a mage, then that's 3 casters in your group that you have to split the loot with. Whereas the rogue loot, you only need to split it with 2 guys, and then the mage and the wizard, there's 2 guys there. So you only be making one or the other mad. And there, that's all you need to do is give it to too many different guys, and then that'll piss off everybody. You don't want that to happen. And as you see, this is just like a turn-based old-school combat here, and really, this is how you play the game. So, I mean, yeah, this is gonna be just about managing to get. Oh, nice crit there by Frazzle, you big beast, you. But moreover, you definitely need to really like this turn-based combat system. Otherwise, you're gonna be pretty bored. Okay, I mean, like, this isn't like a real MMO. And as you can see here, nothing crazy happens for the first bit. They just kind of do their own thing. Look, Stabbington, you can see he's green now, so he actually made himself the main tank, and I didn't see that. That's one of the things here that you have to do, is really look at this text screen right there. If you don't look at that, then you're going to be in huge trouble, because things happen, and then they're going to try to do things out of character. But luckily here, it's not going to bite me in the butt. So now, we're going to take a look at the loot. So obviously, it's going to drop loot, and then it will choose the people that can actually use it. It's not like you can give it to a mage or anything like that for this orcish toothpick. No, it's going to choose your 2 guys that can actually get it. And then we'll show you the current base item. Now, you can't have multiple equipment. That's one of the, I guess, not really a downfall, but it's definitely different, because let's say you had a tank, and a tank can be DPS, as I've shown you there. Well, I can't get DPS gear for my tank and then have them switch out to a main tank gear. I can't do that. No, I have to just go with one type of gear. So it kind of suffers a little bit for that, but Again, I guess there's going to be only so much they can do for this game, and right there, you kind of have to choose who you like the most. And there, the morale 81, and then this one here, Stabbington 84. So since Dark Assassins has a little bit lower morale, we're going to give it to Dark Assassins. Okay, and there you see Dark Assassins loves loot, so +6 in morale, but Stabbington can lose a morale drop there. But since he did start off with higher morale than Dark Assassins, no problem. And we are going to drop some more loot. Ah, full plate armor. Alright, and it's going to go to my main tank. Now, the one thing you have to know about hardcore raiding is that you always give stuff to your main tank. I don't care about Conan. I care about Carlanus. He is the main tank for me. And yes, we will continue to the main fight. Now, if I leave the screen, it will go to back to the day 2, and then after that, it will start the raid over again. But here, I'm going to go advance further along in the dungeon, and now there's going to be 2 axe orcs. And as you can see here, this one's kind of clipped off, but there, I do know that they do have 2 of them in this game. So now, it might be worth it here if I assign Conan here as the off tank now, and then Carlanus will be the main tank. But actually, since Carlanus picked up that loot, then I don't even need a off tank. I could just use Carlanus as the main tank by himself and still continue on with what I'm doing. It's actually easier just to heal 1 tank than it is to heal 2 tanks. And I will make it to where this meta again is going to heal only tanks, and then Carlanus is going to be pretty much focused on by the main healer, which is myself, the VG Pierce, or should I say Kunio. And they're the target priority. Okay, so now you can make it to where these guys have different targets. Right now, everybody defaults to Axe Orc 1, actually Axe Orc without the number, and then Axe Orc 1. But you can make it to where I can make the Axe Orc 1 the priority. But we're not going to do that. We're going to keep everybody the same. Everything is going to be okay. And then we're going to go to the next bit. 2 Axe Orc, double the trouble. And I really like how they kind of make some little jokes here and there. And it's a bit tongue-in-cheek type of game. It's not supposed to be that serious. Okay, so now, since I am doing 1 main tank, and there's going to be a lot more damage placed upon my tank, so I'm going to start off with, oh my god, heal Carlanus, so that when they start off healing, they'll heal in 1 turn instead of waiting multiple turns. And if you had noticed that earlier, then the healers do sometimes take a few turns to cast a big long spells, and if you guys know anything, then long heals usually kill your main tank. Okay, that's what I'm gonna say. So now we're gonna start off with them, and we're gonna make it to where they cast in 1 turn instead of waiting like a bunch of turns. So there, he's gonna do 1 cast turn, as well as medic 1 cast turn. Luckily, Tree Humper, he's gonna be pretty much instant AOE cast. So we're gonna continue with, oh my god, heal Carlanus. And we're gonna continue with this until 1 of the Axe Orc is dead, and then after that, we're gonna be wasting a lot of mana doing that. These fast casts, but at least this main tank won't die as quickly, and hopefully won't die. Actually, I am I don't know, actually I think I'm kind of pushing it a little bit. I should have split up the tank rules here. 1 tank one guy and the other one tank the other, but I think it'll be alright. Carlanus, he's a beast, and plus I already know what to do. Instant heal these guys and then it'll be alright. Oh my god, heal Carlanus. Okay, so now we're at 102 health, not too bad. Oh, looks like Cowbell backed away, so now I'm going to fix that. Oh, Medic is actually going to be accidentally wandering into the monsters. Now, that's okay. That's okay, because the tank has aggro, and these guys won't exactly just turn and kill the Medic or anything like that. So I'm going to fix Cowbell up because he's a melee damager as well as a buffer, because this is the Bard. And so we're going to fix this person first, and then the Medic next. And these are the kind of things that will happen in your game. Medic will still cast the heals, but now if maybe they had an AoE damage that only hit frontline people, then the Medic would actually get hit. So let's go ahead and switch row, and then we'll do Cowbell. There you go, and then right away it switches, and then next we're gonna be taking care of the Medic, and that's it. And you know, yeah, a lot of these kind of crazy things are gonna happen, but it's not gonna be as crazy and as frantic as you might feel or think. These raid bosses really take a lot of time to take down, okay? Especially in the later going, when you have to defeat, what, a whole row of hellhounds and things like that. Actually, they're not called hellhounds, but they are taking a little bit from World of Warcraft, I have to say. And we're going to continue on healing the main tank. Oh my god, heal Carlanus. And then, so as you can see there, Carlanus is fine. He's at full health already. Taking him down a little bit. They're still going to attack him, both of them, but they're not going to kill him. This Axor is going to go down, and we're going to be fine afterwards. And there you go. Down with the man there, and give me your epic loots, baby. That's what I want. And now, as you can see, medic. Oh, I forgot to put him back one. That's okay. I put the oh my god heal. But we are going to switch this person back here, medic, back into the front, or the back row. And then everybody's going to be okay. You got to really pay attention to the text. And I know, sometimes it kind of lulls you into a false sense of security and then you forget to read the chat. You're just kind of looking around. And this is it right here. And we're going to take down the Axor. As you can see before, the game is actually a lot more difficult in the beginning of the raid, because that's when all the bosses are still up. And that is when your main duties are still going to be the worst. But at this point, this is going to be the easy part. I know I can defeat the Axor just by sticking with the plan. And then as long as nobody gets too crazy, then I'll be alright. There are times where they will go Link Dead or whatever, but the Link Dead only lasts for one turn. And like they might go for a burrito, a lunch break or something like that. But again, they're only going to be down for one turn. And that's not a big deal. And so, even though they do these kind of crazy things, it's not extremely detrimental to your raid. It's not like Leroy Jenkins, Leroy. Oh no, he's not gonna be pulling all the mobs to your guys and killing your whole raid just because you're talking too much, trying to set things up. No, he's gonna be all right. And Carlanus is gonna be in the back row. Oops. But actually, nice thing is that he's still going to be tanking because he has so much aggro now that the damage is going to be halved because he's going to be back row. Actually, not halved, but it's going to be a little bit less than if he was going to be in the front row. So that's actually going to benefit me a little bit. But I'm going to put him back in the front row because right now he's not going to be able to attack his whole 1 damage. But still, I still want him in the front row just in case. Let's get him in front. And now we're going to be just like normal. Okay. And as you can see, they're all color coordinated. The red is going to be for DPS, green for tank, blue for healing. And so that definitely helps you out. Just in case you missed the text and you're like, wait, why is my guy red and in the front row attacking? You can tell right away what's going on. The only thing you might miss is, as earlier, Cowbell went to the back row but still was red. You might miss that he's missing his attacks because he's in the back row, not in the front row. Round 10's going to start up. And we should be taking him down in round 10. 6 damage there. Carlanus, you beast. Ooh, Conan. And now, taking him down. More epic loot. It's going to be our way at Scimitar. And only going to be going to Tree Humper. And that's going to help with the mana. And before only 25 plus mana. But now 60. So awesome. And now, since it's going to be nice to only bring one class, because now nobody else is going to be angry or anything like that. This is going to be the trouble right here, is when you have 2 guys here. So now again, we look at the morale, and as you can see, 88 for Dark Assassins, and then for Stabbington, 81. So we definitely want to give this to Stabbington now, even though maybe Dark Assassins might... You want to hook up one guy? No, you don't want to do that. You want to spread the loot out, okay? Okay, so... yeah, instead of leather armor, we'll make it to where Stabbington's going to be lasting a little bit longer. So we're going to keep the morale pretty much the same. And then faded red robes, okay? And luckily I do have just 1 mage. And I'm going to be doing great. Oh, full plate armor. And there you go, Carlanus. He's so happy. Look at his face. 93. But we're going to give this to Conan. And that will definitely help out the off-tanking issues. And since Carlanus already has the loot, well, he's not going to lose any morale. And that's going to be a nice thing. If he has it already, no problem. He's going to be like, whatever. And then, yeah, we're going to not go to the next fight. We're going to go to day 2 now. And we can buy some items there. And I would recommend getting the heal up potion whenever you can, because sometimes the healer's a little bit slacking, okay? And a lot later on, you're going to need the mana potion, but not in the early going. You definitely want to get the healing potion whenever you can. Okay, but now we're going to save our gold. And as you can see, you can take a look at our guild members. Frazzle, he's got 79 morale, and nobody's losing anything right now, so we can actually still continue raiding, and that's not going to be the big deal in the first few days. But later on, the morale will get a little bit crazy, and here you can actually view other guilds and see the Jerky Elite, Basement Dwellers, and here you see Endgame. So there is going to be some guild progression scores, and that's going to be a nice thing, is that the farther you go, then the higher up in the leaderboard you'll be. And so, I don't know, I mean, I definitely do like that, because when I was hardcore raiding, one of the things I did look at was how far advanced are the other guilds in comparison in progression, right? How many bosses did they take down? Now, unfortunately, they do put the leaderboards up, but they don't say how far they went. They only give a gear score, basically, and I think that's kind of fair, but at the same time I don't, because back then we didn't look at the gear score. We looked at how far you actually beat the bosses, not how nicely geared they are. But I guess this game will make it to where it's a lot better that way, because then it will show how many raids they've been on. So obviously the Jerky Elite, I guess, hey, I was never one of the Jerky Elites. Well, I was never a jerk, okay? I was always very helpful to the other guilds. Now I will say that I think they kind of missed a little bit more. I mean, when I was hardcore raiding, there was more to it than just the morale of your team whenever you gave the loot and then they kind of messed around or whatever, right? There was more to it. There was other things, like the other guilds, they would be looking at your guildmates thinking, okay, you know, if they lost a healer, then they would look at healers from other guilds and then try to recruit them away, stuff like that. And like that also caused a lot of drama, and that's why some of the top hardcore raiding guilds hated each other, because some of these guys would basically steal their guys, and then after that, you know, that's a huge loss. When you lose somebody with all that gear that you just hooked them up with, it's hard to replace, and that is one of the things that is kind of missing from this game. And then another deal is maybe the fact that, you know, you need to do some other things too. Back then when you raided, you needed to get the potions going for your guys. Right now there's only heal potions and mana potions, but there could have been more. And also on top of that, the raid members, I do have a couple of rogues as you saw there, and the mages and things like that, but during the raid I don't need to do any special type abilities. Like in those raid bosses, there were things that I needed to do to stop them from healing. You know, you had to use your interrupt to get them to where they don't heal and things like that. But here there's no real strategy in that respect. There are other things, such as, you know, these bosses, they will resurrect the other guys, and you know, you got to kill this guy first, otherwise he'll automatically resurrect or heal up the other guys and things like that. But there's no special skills that's necessary for your other guildmates, and so that as well also kind of takes away from this game. But I have to say, for $5, this is gonna be something here that will, you know, it's gonna give you some good amount of time. You know, I definitely would say that, you know, hey, play this game because you like or can handle the old school turn-based combat system, because you know what, nostalgia, it's gonna bring you here and take you all the way back to those days. But if you don't really like this type of game, these turn-based combat system, then you're probably not gonna be happy with this game, and because the amount of depth, as I mentioned earlier, isn't necessarily there. So I mean, you gotta really look at this gameplay. I mean, this is all that kind of is, really. You know, you can buy items and kind of spend the day chatting with your guys, but otherwise, you know what, you may enjoy it. So I will say with that, raid on, and hopefully may the epic loots be with you. This is the VG Pierce. Join me on Pierce YouTube channel, subscribe, like my videos, and hopefully I'll see you guys there.